Hey guys, and welcome to a little bit of an intro video to sales. So basically this is going to form an understanding for you of a lot of different topics that we're going to talk about. It'll understand some of the things that we talk about in our scripts and giving you guys a really good basis of the important things that are going to make a difference day to day, the little things that will make a big difference to your sales results long term. So without further ado, the 10 questions you must have in your script. These are not in order, guys. We will cross over. You'll see in our scripts, we have a few different ways of approaching this, but I really want you guys to consider these are key questions that you need to be asking to get the best out of your sales script. Now, if you don't have a sales script, stop right now, go write one and make sure these questions are in there. Check ours, work it out. It works, I promise you, but these questions are critical. Okay, first one, what is your goal? If you don't know what they're trying to achieve, then you can't possibly sell something with integrity, guys. You need to understand what it is that they're trying to achieve so that you can reverse engineer it. Okay, and we're going to go into that in a little bit more detail in the coming slides. But it's really important for you to understand what is important to this person. Okay, a sales is always about the person, not about you. It is about what they want to achieve. It's about who they want to be, and it's about what they want from their life and from their fitness. Okay, and your job is to give it to them. Okay, now 2, what has prevented you from achieving this? It's really important to establish the gap. A lot of these questions will it's really important for rapport building, but also it will establish a gap for you later on when you're trying to establish objection handling, when you're trying to come back with facts to overcome emotion. Okay, so what has prevented you from achieving it? Get some real raw answers from them, dig a little bit, scratch away. Don't accept the first answer. Always ask questions, ask more and more and more questions, and then you will get them to talk. You need them to open up. You need to build rapport. You need to build trust, and sales is a trust process, and this must be about them. People love talking about themselves. Okay, now then these sort of questions, number 3, is all about some of the questions in a sales script that, yes, are very important from a fitness and a sales perspective for you to understand, what is actually pulling people away from their goals. They want this. Why don't they have it? Well, these are the things that could possibly be getting in the way of that. How often do you eat out? What are you guys ordering when you're ordering Uber Eats? How often do you drink? Friday night drinks. How often are you going out for work? Do you drink at home? It's not it's not a hard question. It's just things for you to understand their nutritional profile at the time. What sort of fitness are they, what sort of exercise are they doing at the moment? It gives you a picture of their overall health and fitness and what may be holding them back versus what they think is holding them back. Smoking, things like that. The other thing that this guy does, and why, we're going to talk about taking notes and following a script or a questionnaire, is that these things determine financial implications. So every block of chocolate someone buys isn't free, guys. It costs money. So you have to start a mental tally or a written down tally in a very nice way about what these people are roughly spending. You can start to add these things up. I don't know what a pack of cigarettes are these days, but got to be at least plus $20. So for you guys who are trying to, obviously change people's life through health and fitness, you can add up these choices that they're making and present them with a financial cost. Okay. Now, obviously in your script, you want to know what the event is. Okay, holidays are a great one to understand because they're fixed, but they also involve suspensions or cancels, or the end for their mental journey is, when I'm on my trip to Bali. But I want you guys to consider that also this could be weddings, birthdays, big birthdays, milestone birthdays, engagements, all sorts of things where you want to understand what the impetus is for this. Sometimes it can be a divorce, but if you try and understand, is there an event or something special that you're working towards? It's a very important question. Okay. Now, the number 5 is probably your number 1 objection handling question. And if you ask it up front, it's much less painful. And it usually rolls really easily off questions 3 and 4. Because of course, if someone says, how often do you eat out? You'd be like, my husband likes this, or my kids do this, or my kids have this event on that day. And you'd be like, okay, great. So you understand that there's other people involved. So by the time you're getting to 5, it's usually something that you've dealt with in a rapport process. You understand the boyfriend, the husband, the kids, and you're simply asking if they support you in this change. Have they supported you? Do they support you? Are they on board with you changing your life? Depending on rapport is very much taking the language that they've used and giving it back to them, okay? So it always sounds better when someone uses your own words and gives them back to you. There's a lot more trust involved. It also shows you were listening. It shows that you're bought into the journey with them, okay? Now, number 6, out of 10, how important is this to you, okay? Please don't prompt people. The worst thing you can do in sales is prompt people for answers. If they're not giving you answers, keep digging, keep asking more questions because you'll hit the right one. Or maybe they just might be one of your no sales, but hit the questions, guys. All right. Now, when they say to you, or I'm a 9 or I'm a 10, it's so easy when you don't have to justify it, okay? And we use this trick even in employment. It's fun. But the flip is, okay, well, why are you not a 3? So now they have to justify their choice for 10. Why is it important to me? Why do I need to make this decision now? Why do I need to action, all the things that I've been saying? Why is it so important for me to do that now? Because if I'm not a 3 would be like, it's kind of a throwaway thing, okay? So they're going to now justify it. They're going to give you even more fuel for the objection handlings, okay? So don't be afraid to dig on these questions. It's all should be kind of friendly and fun. It shouldn't be, very stale or, clinical. I want you guys to really focus on rapport, and we're going to look at that a little bit more. But these questions should be fun. If you don't feel like you're going through a questionnaire and you're actually giving them back some banter and enjoying the process, okay? I'd rather you take longer on our first few sales and actually make the sales than rush through to get to the no, okay? Because no's are inevitable. And if you deal with a no and go, I'm going to get told no, but then what? Okay. And this is where your sales Bible and things come down, when you're going through this, and we work through this with our sales team so much, is a sales Bible. When you hit the no's, they're inevitable, guys. You're going to get them. What do you say then? So if I hear this, then I will say that. And if you're confident in that, you're not even scared about the no's. So all of these things are giving you the fuel with what to say in what scenario. Okay. Now, 8, what happens if you don't achieve your goal this time? What is going to happen? And this is the question you probably need to dig a little bit more on than anything else. What happens? What's really going to happen? What's the real pain for this person? Will they not be able to keep up with their kids? Will will they not live long enough to see their grandchildren? Depending on how serious some of the problems that people are faced with in their health and fitness journey, this can be a very important question and can basically seal the deal for you. 9, what have you tried before? Diets, trainers, we guarantee our results. So we always say, does anyone else ever guarantee their results with you? But getting down into the different diets they've tried, the different trainers they've tried, and again, mentally cracking in some of the financial implications of these decisions. Diets aren't free, trainers aren't free, gym memberships aren't free. How much have they spent? Even if you've done a 24-hour fitness gym membership for, a whole year, it's not free, guys. Just because it's cheap at the time, if you're paying like $14 a week, it's still $720, over $700 a year. If you're paying $14 a week to have a gym membership. Now, they've burnt $700 and didn't walk into the damn gym. So you've got to reframe this stuff. You didn't use it. We are going to give you. This is the information that you are garnering in a very relaxed rapport process that's going to be fired back at them. And then, of course, what is different this time? Okay. Why are you going to be different this time? Because they've just told you all the different stuff that they've tried before and it didn't work. Now, what's going to be different? Okay, guys. So I hope these 10 questions have given you a better insight into the conversations that you should be having in your scripts and making it fun. So we lead into building rapport, and we've touched on it in the first part, and I want you to understand it a little bit more. You need to know your niche. It comes back to marketing, but you need to meet the market where they are at. How you talk to a 30-year-old woman and how you talk to a 30-year-old guy, probably different. Certainly different to how you talk to my 50-year-old mum and, a 25-year-old girl. Very different. So don't assume that the language that you use, not just in marketing, but in sales, shouldn't adjust also. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Know your niche immediately. Language, posture if you're in person, the way that you're dressed, the way that you present yourself, all very important things, especially if you're adjusting to different niches, all right? Listen more than you speak. I touched on this with the 10 questions. The most important thing you can do is ask questions. If you're unsure, ask questions. Questions will lead you into a conversation, and from there you build rapport. And rapport is just simply things that you have in common with someone, okay? And that obviously leads into don't be afraid of silence, okay? Particularly once you're getting to the tougher questions. You know, when you're asking the fork in the road question, you know, which way are you going to go? You can go this way and you can do it on your own, or you can do it this way and you can guarantee the results and you can be with us. Silence is not a bad thing. It's actually a very great way for them to consider all of it, mull it over, and then people don't like open loops, so they're forced to then say something. Try not to be the person who says something, okay? Educate and empower. Now, if you are on a phone call or in a consult and you're having you're educating someone on the difference between the scales and body fat, or visceral fat versus, general body fat, all of these sort of things. If you're educating them on, the empowering decisions around food versus restrictions and diets, then, metabolic adaptation is another great empowerment tool. It's giving them an understanding of why it hasn't happened. And that leads into the next point, because you're now giving them a reason why it's not them. No one wants the fault to be theirs. They don't want to be fat or unfit or, haven't achieved their goal because of them. They want it to be an outside reason. So you've got to give them that outside reason. And that's a very powerful sales process. And it usually comes with education, and it's enlightening them as to the fact that it's not your fault. It's actually the fault that you've had of XYZ reasons. Okay? Smile. Even on the phone, your whole energy changes, your whole mood changes, the tone of your voice changes when you smile. And it makes you more approachable. You don't even realize it when you're doing it. But, I talk with my hands, and, that always expresses passion. And, whether I'm in front of someone or I'm on the phone, you can hear the shift in my voice and, the energy that comes with structured thought and passion that comes through. So I want you guys to think about that. Smile. If ever you're feeling overwhelmed or scared, fear and happiness cannot live in the same place. So manufacture your happiness. All right. Empathize and don't assume. Also, don't talk down to people. You're not in a position of power because you can push people down. You want to understand that everyone has legitimate reasons for being in the position that they're in, either, financially, or physically. There are choices that they've made. And so for you don't want to be talking down to everyone. You don't want to feel that, you are making them feel inferior because, they're 30 kilos overweight. You want to empathize with their situation. You don't want to assume that you understand their situation. You want them to tell you what it's like, and then you empathize with them and then present an alternative. And the alternative, of course, is you. And you are a very loving, empathetic, thoughtful person. Also, you are very smart and all these sort of things, but they don't want to know that. They just want to know that you are the person who is going to change their life. They actually, I will tell you, really care about the 75,000 different degrees you've done. The most important thing is you probably have a few things up on the wall, the before and after, all that sort of stuff. We're going to talk about props later on. But for you guys, it's understanding that for them, they just want to believe that you are the person who is finally going to make the change, because not many of us got to this position overnight. They built up this problem. They've carried this problem for years. So for you, it's important that they see you as the solution. And be genuine. Sometimes you can't help everyone. If Janice comes into the gym and she's got multiple injuries and, she can barely get up or down her own stairs at home, then maybe you're not the gym for her. But a person with great integrity will refer her or will say, Janice, I'm not the person to help you, but of course, I'm more than happy to give you a meal plan, some recipes, a cookbook. These are going to help you on your journey, but I recommend you go talk to Bob, Joe, or, whatever, or I'll ask around and I'm going to send you some contacts of someone who can really help you because I really want to see this change for you. That's integrity. And sometimes Janice might not join the gym, but Janice might have like 3 friends that she then sends down because you didn't sell her. And that sometimes is the secret win. They're the long-term wins of just doing the right thing. And challenge them, guys. Again, I said it before, no is inevitable, okay? You've got to look at the 80-20 rule. 20% of people are going to buy whatever you sell. So if you're not converting 20% of your leads, the problem is 100% you suck at sales, because 20% of people are just going to give you money no matter what. But then the other 20% are never going to buy. It doesn't matter. They don't want your stuff. They're the people that say, I can't remember opting in. Well, it's miraculous, Janice, that you put in your name, email, phone number. You can't remember. But hey, maybe her 5-year-old really did do it. But at the end of the day, you've got this 60% in the middle that is your job to convince 50% of those to buy your shit, okay? And I say shit not because it's shit, but it's your stuff, right? So you need to challenge them. The first objection is the beginning of the sales process, guys. Everything else is rapport. Please don't confuse the two. It is genuine information gathering. The first objection, and if you can overcome that, welcome to sales, okay? Most of them include 3. And normally your final objection, your real objection, is going to be financial. So be prepared for the no, be ready for it, and then you won't be afraid.